the only one that can stop your dream is you. If you decide that you've had 10 doors shut, that shouldn't make no difference, because that 11th door, if you keep going, might be the one that's going to be open. It is important to show up. If you have a product or a brand that you want people to recognize or to grow to know, you've got to be there. Took the cakes down to the church and we helped feed over 200 people, and we've done it. We did it again earlier on this year. There's nothing that's plain sailing in life. You're going to have great days where things are going the way you want them to go, and you're going to have days where it's not so good.
Marcia E010 is the proud founder and CEO of Marcia's Authentic Rum Cakes. Born and raised in Brixton with Caribbean roots in Jamaica and Barbados, she transformed her love for baking, sparked during a time of personal loss, into a thriving family business. What began as a hobby soon became a sought-after brand, sharing joy and tradition with people from all walks of life. Her mission is to spread the gift of Caribbean cake making as far and wide as possible, preserving its history while inspiring others to embrace the art.
Welcome to the Trampoline Podcast. We have our special guest, Marcia's from Marcia's Rum Cakes. You want to show off your top?
Okay, we can show Marcia's Authentic Rum Cakes.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're more than welcome.
You are a regular at our Makers Market.
Yeah.
It's a market we do every month, end of the month on Saturdays. And I always see your stall so busy. So I'm happy that you're on here today. Just get to know you a bit more and your experience with your business.
Thank you. I'm so grateful that you've asked me to come and speak with you guys today. It's a pleasure.
That's good. Talk to me about your origins. Like, how did it start from you?
Oh gosh, well, baking, this is our 3rd year in business. So Marcia's Authentic Rum Cakes was birthed from a place of sadness. Sadly, we had 5 family members pass away consecutive days, 5 consecutive days. And I was off at home writing eulogies for one and just preparing the family for the pending funerals that were going to take place. So I was signed off from my main job at home just to support my family. And just in a place of low in spirit, in heart, with everything that was happening around me, and decided that I would bake a cake. Now, I don't technically come from a baking background, even though my late mum used to bake the cakes on the odd Sunday for my siblings and I. But I come from a family of chefs and musicians, and we have a knack of making food taste good. So I put together like an old school pineapple upside down cake. I think that was the first cake I ever made. Tasted absolutely fantastic in itself. Didn't look the greatest, none whatsoever. I took it out the tin and it just crumbled away, but it tastes magnificent. Then I thought, I'll do something else, a cherry morello. Did a cherry morello cake. I went on YouTube and found the recipe and put it together. That was nice. And then my birthday was coming up. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a rum cake. Once again, went online, had a look to see how you put a rum cake together. But we got the knack of making things taste good. So we put our twists and turns into the cake in itself. And literally, I put the cake together, followed the instructions. And the cake that I made then, and that would be 4 years ago, is the cake that we're selling now. Okay. So the only thing I tweaked was the texture for the cake. And obviously we're making it a lot more now, but it literally is the cake from the off that we use now. So that's how Marcia's Authentic Rum Cakes were birthed.
I'm so surprised to hear that you're only 3 years, not just your business, but you actually baking 3 years young.
I definitely do not come from a baking background. When my children were little, I don't know if you even, they still sell them actually, the box cakes. You put 1 egg to it and you mix it, you put it out. I used to bake things like that, and they used to be pushing each other out the way not to eat the cake. There was a push and a fight. We're not, you go. So they weren't eating anything that I had baked. So for me to be baking now, where hundreds of people are eating our cakes, is just a miracle in itself.
I mean, what was that turning point for you? It was like, I need to start this business.
Do you know what? Baked my birthday cake, then started to bake a few more for friends and family. And my name was getting around a bit, oh, she's doing a rum cake and it's really, really nice. My family are very honest. So they're not going to say to me that cake is good if it wasn't good. And then friends of friends started to ask, well, does she sell cakes? And I'm like, I wouldn't know where to start in pricing a cake, let alone selling a cake. So I kind of had a little bit of a look online. I thought, what everybody else is doing, could I actually bake a cake that somebody would actually buy? And so I thought, all right, the first thing I'm going to do if I'm baking in that level is get my qualifications. So get my health and safety, my food hygiene, and register the business. I didn't know where I was going with the business, but I wanted the legal side to be the foundation to be laid on that, because if you're considering selling a cake to somebody, you have to ensure that that cake is safe for them to consume. So I did the health and safety, illegal side of it. Then I was invited by a family member to Camberwell. It was post-COVID, and the market, the Camberwell Urban Farmers Market, as it's known now, was just opening back. So apparently before COVID, it was quite an affluent market, loads of people coming, and it was on a larger scale. So they were just starting up again. And she was like, oh, would you like to come? The pitch was nothing expensive at all. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go, but still not really understanding what it would actually take. So I've just baked loads of cakes, put it in the packaging, bought all my labels and prices. When I think about what we were charging then to what we charge now, it's something special. And we brought the cakes, loads of family and friends turned up, and we sold out. I couldn't even believe, I stood back watching people queue to buy something that I had baked. And it was quite overwhelming in itself to know that where the cakes were birthed from, to having a queue of people queuing to buy something that I had put together. And it was amazing. And that was the first market that we actually did.
That is so impressive. And what I love to hear from like small businesses is having that support difference. I think
gosh, yeah.
that makes such a difference between actually starting up a business and people who are like kind of hesitant and kind of scared to take that step. So
Yeah,
it's so good that
definitely.
you have people who are supportive but also honest around you.
My family, I say it time and time again, if it wasn't good or you're not going in the right direction, they're the first one to pull you and say, you know what, this doesn't look good, or this ain't quite tasting right. And even now, even though we're 3 years in, even though it feels like much more than 3 years, because so much has happened in that space of time, we're still there. I still have that foundation, that support. And as much as I'm the founder and CEO of Massey's, Massey's is not Massey's without my family and my close circle of friends that I have that helps me on a day-to-day basis, including my husband.
I mean, it's not only just that, the steps you take to make sure everything, the health and safety, have to do that. Since I started working at Trampoline, I mean, you've been here since I've started working here, and I can see like the hard work that goes into that, and I'm like, that's why you're successful. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Thank you so much. But like I said, it is such a team effort. We don't have no paid employees, but we have volunteers, and we're at that stage where family volunteer, but all members of my family who trade with us are all qualified. I've ensured that they have their food and hygiene certificate. Some are hack trained as well. So everybody has that same level of qualification as me when they're on that stall, because you can be challenged at any time. You've got to be able to answer questions in terms of food and protection as well for members of the public. There's people with food allergies, etc. You need to understand about the product, and you need to understand the health and safety aspects to ensure that everybody is safe.
Good. That's good. Since your journey, I mean, since you've started, what were like the biggest, I guess, the hardest parts of your journey since you started?
Do you know what? It's a lot of time it's funding. So it's one thing to have such a fantastic product. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I believe I have a great product.
Go ahead. As you should.
I have a good product, but having a good product doesn't always cut it on its own. There's so much things that go into having to push that product forward. And a lot of time it is funding. So, and business awareness. I was fortunate to being on that first market many moons ago, feels like many moons ago, is where I came into contact with Trampoline and ended up being on one of the very first cohort groups. And so the business side of it, I didn't have much knowledge on that, other than little bits of research that I had done myself. And being involved in trampoline opened my eyes beyond my wildest dreams that I could imagine what it actually takes to run a business. So by the time I came into trampoline, I was already registered with Companies House, and had my certificates for food hygiene and safety, etc. But understanding about taxes, understanding about branding, marketing, accounts, etc. Those are the valuable tools that I came to trampoline and learned how, and having that one-to-one coach. Claudine, bless her, was my coach, and I benefited so greatly from her, and still do to this day. And having to be asking questions with areas that I didn't know, things that you were supposed to do, and I wasn't aware of it. So having that support, that was hard, not knowing, but I was fortunate to have that. So funding makes a big difference. You know, you're being able to, the moment you start to scale up and you're going out to various events, you need transport. You're scaling up your product. So what you're making, and especially in the first few years, you may not see a viable profit. What you're making is what you're putting back in. So that was one of the hard sort of parts, just to keep it going, knowing where to go, who to contact in terms of events, and where you could go, where you couldn't go, what would work for you, what wouldn't work for you. And there's loads of pitfalls, you know, but for me, I think when things didn't go to plan, for me, I didn't necessarily see it as a negative. I saw it as something to nurture and to grow, to learn from, because you wouldn't go back and do the same thing again. But yeah, so funding was difficult, depending, because as your vision grows and you want to scale up, you need more finance to put in, and network. People that you meet along the way can help you, you know, pull you forward in the direction that you choose to go.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about working at trampoline. Just the people you meet, it's so motivating.
I love it. I've met so many people along the way, and people that I will take with me forever. And even being at other events that trampoline have done, like your Makers Market, people come and ask me, oh, how did you do this? Or my daughter's interested, or my son is interested. And because of, you know, that knowledge and skills that I've gained through working as a business owner and with organizations like yourself, I'm able to forward on that information to help others grow and nurture their dreams and push forward.
I mean, for me, I always think about community. Like, I always want to help out as much as I can.
That's me. That's my foundation. Always. Always. Because that's us. That's who I am. I see myself as part of a community. I was born and bred in Brixton, now live in Lewisham. So I know what it's like to live amongst a diverse group of wonderful people. You know, it's fantastic. I love it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Since you've been at the market, you don't just do the Makers Market, you do other markets as well.
Yeah. Do you know what? The more we were exposed to different events, and we meet people all the time, we have baked cakes for loads of people. So we do the Makers Market, we do Fernstown's Farmers Market, that is like Mitcham sort of Tooting, that side, Foster Memorial Park, which is Bromley, where else? Oh, the Black Culture Market, which is in Brixton, it's a big one, it's a nice one to do. Famously, the Lambeth Country Show, we have done that for 3 consecutive years. We'll be there again this year on the 7th and 8th of June. And it's a big event. It takes a lot of organisation. We have to take a team going out there, because the footfall is 120,000 people over 2 days. So you could imagine how much cakes you have to bake. So I don't have a facility as per se. I'm a home baker, as I've stated before. So we hire ovens, we hire vans, gazebos out, and we bake in mass. And so we have a team. It's a 3-day baking schedule in itself. So I've got that to look forward to. But yeah, so we've baked, and we've been to so many places over the last 3 years, and to a point that we now have to sort of turn down certain events that we're invited to, because we're small in number, and you just cannot stretch yourself to that. limit. And what I refuse to do is to impact the quality of my cakes. Because if you're trying to bake and be a million places at one time, your product's going to suffer, and your name is to that product. When somebody tastes a Massey's rum cake, there's love made in that cake. There's quality that's made in that cake. And if you're stretching yourself, I don't want to falter on any area of my baking. So we'll choose not to go certain places now and attend others. We have worked with the KICG church in Catford, where we've helped feed the homeless. We've done it twice now. Christmas, I got a call Christmas Eve night when we had sort of packed down for the baking year. We wasn't going to come open again until January. And I got a call from Councillor Kim Powell, who is a councillor for Lewisham Council. And she asked if we would come, if I could donate some cakes to the homeless. And I literally packed everything away. I said, okay, I'll see what I can do. And I put the phone down. I thought, I've been blessed abundantly in so many ways. And sometimes people it doesn't have to be a massive blessing. The small things make the difference. And I thought, you know what, it would be wonderful for me to go and help the less fortunate than myself. So I pulled all the pans back out and I baked loads of cakes. And it was for Christmas dinner the following day. And so I took the cakes down to the church and we helped to feed over 200 people. And we did it again this year, earlier on this year.
No, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
No,
so it's nice. And things like Too Good to Be True. So when Too Good to Go, Too Good to Go. So when we certain events, you may have cakes left over, and I refuse to discard them. So we joined up to help prevent food wastage. So we sell our cakes, and people come and buy the magic bags that they come in, and I've seen them at events. They will come to our events as well to purchase our cakes. That's wonderful. They're coming back. They're always coming back. Oh, you're going to be here. Or, we've seen you here, which is lovely.
I like that. I think people underestimate the free things you can do, or like the cheaper things you can do. Because I always tell people, yes, it may not be a profit to you now, but they will come back. If they love your things, they'll come back. And
it happens time and time again. People come back and, I saw you last year here, or we saw you there, or your cakes are wonderful. And it's such a joy when people come and try cakes and they come back time and time. I know people by name. I know people's order before they even step to where we're serving. So yeah, that's wonderful.
That's good. It's good that because you're a small company yourselves, you get to have the in-person relationship with your customers.
Yes.
I think adds an extra touch.
It does indeed. And I think people love that as well, to be personal, because when they find, a lot of the time they're like, well, who bakes the cake? So a lot of the time the team might say, well, that's the baker. Like, you're the baker. Or they don't expect the CEO and founder to be there talking and mingling amongst everybody else. I'm like, I'm here serving and doing what needs to be done.
I mean, I think that's extra motivation of anybody watching, or anyone who meets you on the street who are thinking about starting their own business. It doesn't have to be this big scale thing.
No, none at all.
I mean, what motivates you to do all of this?
To keep going?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I have a dream. My dream is to see my cakes in stores, in supermarkets, like Waitrose, like Morrison's, Asda, Sainsbury's. And I've met the CEO and founder of Sainsbury's, or the current CEO of Sainsbury's. He's tried our cakes, etc. But I want to see my cakes in stores like that. So, like, everybody can go in and see. Everybody knows a Mr. Kipling's cake. I want everybody to know Massey's authentic rum cake.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going. So I've been offered, spaces to set up and sell cakes, and units and shops, stores, but I don't want that. I'm not pushing for that. So my push is to sell online, which we're not too far from at this moment in time, and then to have our cakes in stores. So that's what motivates me to keep going.
Yeah. I'm happy for that. That sounds realistic. I see that.
Well, I'm happy. Thank you.
It's just that hard work. Again, I always see you at the stores, on Instagram. I always see you on Instagram. I
just think I'm not the greatest social media person at all. And I do my best on there and there's so much footage that we have from events for years that I'm trying to put it all together. Right, you've got to recognise when you've got weak areas. That's one of mine. So
I think for anyone, I mean, yeah, at least, trampoline, we have the marketing team, but I always tell everybody, like, just start off small and just learn how to be consistent. Because for me, I'm seeing your Instagram posts. I'm like, oh, like she's doing this, she's over here, she's working.
And I try to post off, not as often as I should. Mainly when I've got an event coming up, I post, because people are asking me all the time, where are you going to be next? All the time. And now I've got to be writing in a diary, right? We're going to be here, we're going to be there. So I try to put a little something up on Instagram.
I mean, if people want to know where you're going next and people want to follow you, I mean, that's a great place. And I think that's just the start, just saying that, some imagery. That's what I see from you. And I'm like,
that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sitting there. I think I'm more interested in the music. Like, what track am I going to put behind this? So I love that. And it's nice when people do turn up and say, oh, I saw you on Facebook, I saw you on TikTok, and you said it was going to be here, or on Instagram. So I know what I'm posting is making a difference. But if there's anybody that wants to offer some free hours to help us post, run our Instagram, it'll be fantastic in itself.
I hope you find that.
Me too.
You talked about like meeting the Sainsbury's
Simon Roberts. Mr. Roberts.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about like your side missions and how you meet all these different people.
Yeah.
I mean, talk more about that. I want an audience to hear your story.
With Mr. Roberts, I actually attended a Ray Forward event. So Ray and Nephew host Ray Forward events where they do mixer nights. So it's a networking event, and they have people that started where I started or where I am, and that have grown in leaps and bounds. So for instance, Juicy Jerk, they used to be known as formerly known as Juicy Jerk. They're Sweet D's now. So they do Caribbean jerk food. They got a franchise, I think, in Vauxhall, and they were one of the first to have their franchise in Selfridges as well. So they were on the panel there, and I thought, you know what, Ray and Nephew, rum, possible sponsorship, I'm turning up.
Yeah.
So I turned up, and there were other people on the panel. So I sat and I just had a look around the room and thought, okay, who's in here that can make a difference for me? It's wonderful to hear people's stories and where they started off and their vision and how they're growing. But for myself, we take the information, but what do you want for yourself? And I saw Simon Roberts and I thought, okay, I want my cakes in Sainsbury's. What's the harm in me talking to you? So I waited till everybody finished talking, and I got up and I walked up to him, put my hand out, and I said, good evening, Mr. Roberts. My name is Marcia E010. I'm CEO and founder of Massey's, and you need to taste my rum cake. And he looked at me and he burst out laughing because he just thought, this lady is just brazen to come up to me just like that. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, really. I said, one day my cake is going to be in your store. It may not be via your route, but it will be in there. And you're going to remember this day. And he called his secretary over and he said, you need to take her details because we need to taste her cakes. And a few emails had gone to and fro. And a few weeks later on, I ended up going back to their headquarters in Chantry Lane in Holborn. And I bought him a hamper of all our different types of cakes that we bake. And it was just so happened the day I turned up was Black History Month. And so when I turned up, the staffer said, oh, you're here for Black History Month? I said, no, I'm actually here to deliver this hamper to Mr. Roberts, who they didn't realise was actually even coming in that day. And I just took a chance and went up with the hamper. And they said that he took the hamper home and didn't share the contents with anybody.
Me too.
And so he emailed me and said he absolutely loved the cake. And he sent me some links for their buying team and bits and pieces like that. Nothing much didn't come from it because it is such a process. Yeah. It's a process in itself. And where we were at the time, we weren't ready to scale up like that. So it's wonderful saying, oh, I want my cakes in a supermarket. But how are you going to make that happen? You need a team, you need a manufacturing and production team around you, someone to bake those cakes, someone to produce, well, I'll produce my cakes because nobody having the recipe like that, but it's a whole venture in itself. So knowing that somebody was interested in that level was fantastic. How you now make it work is us moving forward. But that event in itself, we met so many people from there. So I was even invited. I actually turned up with some rum cakes. I had nothing to do with the event. And I got there and I handed them to the senior management team. And I got a call to do Brixton Jam. Ray and Nephew had a gig in Brixton Jam, and they had a few people there, a few companies like Leslie Sauces. So people that are well now, Pat and Pinkies were there with their chili jams, etc. But Massey's Authentic Rum Cakes was the only business that was allowed to trade on that night. So little things like that made a difference. So we went and we traded there and continued to do a lot of pop-up events or events where people invite us to that being in the room makes a difference. So I'm trying to be in the room to make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing I wanted to talk about, because again, that talks about how hardworking you are and how motivated you are. You are always at these events, especially with the makers market or the other markets you do. I mean, can you speak about the importance of showing up?
It's important. I think I've done an event in every weather that the UK has to offer, other than snow. Mind you, I did a Campbell one when it started snowing. I said that was the limit for me. It is important to show up. If you have a product or a brand that you want people to recognize or to grow to know, you've got to be there. So you've got to do the grafting. You've got to do the work, even when you don't want to be out there in that way. And a lot of the time, people recognize this label, this brand, and automatically feel, oh, that's the cake lady. So, I saw your label on, social media, or I did a Too Good to Go the other day, and so I have the cakes in the back of the car, in the boot, and I pop up the boot, and I'm looking for the person to come and collect the cake, and I stood out of the car, and the guy walked over and he said, oh, I recognize your T-shirt. So it's important to be out there with your branding and your logos for people to recognize who you are. So we take the rough with the smooth. You do the events that you may not want to go to, or even small in number, because sometimes the smaller events bring the biggest outcomes. I remember actually doing the Makers Market, and it was quiet. It was a little bit quiet at that time. It leaps and bounds. When it's extremely busy, then it's so it was a settling moment, and I was cutting a sample cake, and a gentleman came by with his wife, gave him some of the cake, and he turned around and said to me, I need you to come to my place of work. I didn't know who he was. He didn't even tell me where he worked. He just asked for my business card. I gave him the business card. His secretary called me the Monday morning and said, my manager came and tasted your cake. We want you to come and sell your cakes at our place of work. And I explained to her, he didn't tell me who he was, where he worked, or anything. So she said, we're a group of investment bankers and we're here in Ludgate Hill. I would like you to come. And so we arranged for me to go up, and they've asked me to come back every month since. So we've sold many a cake. And what happens when you move into the corporate world, people that are coming into that building for meetings, etc., now want you to come to where they are. So we've given out cards, etc., and then trying to spread yourself to go to various. So now you've got to be mindful of how you do. But like I said, them little things in that moment, showing up, made a difference later on down.
No, that makes sense. I always tell anyone who are signing up to the makers market or any market, it's not just about selling. You are representing your business, basically.
For sure.
You never know who you're going to meet there.
I'm telling you.
You got to be friendly, say hellos.
And manners in itself, customer service, you know what, that's one of the things, outside of the cake is so moist and it tastes wonderful, people speak about our staff in customer service and how polite we are to people. And you never know who you're going to serve. In speaking with a lady, I ended up baking a cake for MP Diane Abbott. And that was it? No, it was actually Camberwell. I met somebody at Camberwell and ended up, baking a cake for her. So it's important. Your customer service speaks volumes, and it speaks about you as a person and as your business, because you're rude to people. They're not coming back even if they like your product. So it's important how you treat people. For me, my go-to and foundation is treat people the way I treat people, the way I like to be treated. And that's a win-win.
I think that's very simple, but
yeah,
some people they don't put two and two together and think, no, I'm just here to sell.
Yeah, definitely. Or you're serving and you look like you don't want to be serving.
Yeah.
So you're miserable and you're not, communicating well with the customer,
Yeah.
etc.
With me, when I'm walking around like the markets, and I'm always obviously have my camera out. I'm always observing like how everyone is moving, and I notice like you may have the greatest product, but if you're just sitting there, arms closed, frown on your face, not making eye contact with anyone, versus with you, you're like up, you're like serving the cakes, you're saying
if not
hi,
dancing.
like, even we were in the middle of a conversation, you did not let that stop you. You're like saying hi to everyone.
But it's so important. And even down to the little children as well. A little girl said, "Oh, Daddy, there's Mrs. Muffin." I thought, oh gosh, all right, I've been called a few things in my life, but Mrs. Muffin, but, all right, I can work with that. And even the children recognize the label and the cakes, they know it. So from the smallest person to the oldest, I've had a lady who was 97 that somebody had bought a cake for her, and she used to teach bakery back in the day. And she left her home because she wanted to see the lady that had baked the cake that ended up in her home. And she said, "This is magnificent. Keep doing what you're doing. This is special." And it means the world to me when I'm speaking with other bakers and bakers that have been baking for a long time, and especially from the Caribbean, that Caribbean heritage, because it means so much. And especially when you can get a cake to the level or standard of back then of hold, and we have like a London twist on our cakes as well. So we're combining old tradition with a new flair. This is who Masses is now, and it's just fantastic.
I mean, that's very important. Like setting yourself apart from others, you've got to put your own little twist, your own little
twist on
flavor,
there, but still not running away from your roots. My Caribbean roots is my foundation, and this is what rum cake is built on. A rum cake was devised in the 16th century when the British came over to the Caribbean, and they had the British plum pudding, and the Caribbean people in the Caribbean took a twist from that and combined the plum pudding with the fruits, sultanas and raisins and spices, and brought that Caribbean flair and fused the two together. And this is what we have now.
That's great. I love them.
I know, right?
I love them. So with that, you're planning to expand. What is your future looking like?
You know, my goal, and I can just see so far ahead in terms of wanting my cakes to be available to everybody who wants to purchase one anywhere they go, in stores, like I said, supermarkets, even airports. You go, you travel, and you see, a little rum cake box, and especially when you're coming from the Caribbean, I want one of Massey's cakes there in the airport shop as well. So my thing now is just pushing forward to be able to make that work. How I make that work, what I need to put in place in order to achieve that. So once again, we sort of reverse back and say, okay, we need funding, we need brand awareness, we need sponsorship. Ray and Nephews, come and sponsor me, please, because we use their products throughout. We use more than one of their products in our cakes. So having sponsorship will help to bring brand awareness out there. We've traveled our cakes in, from London to Bristol to Leeds to Jamaica. I got a message the other day, somebody took my cake to Japan. I had a cake just gone on Saturday to the Maldives. It's crazy where people are bringing the cakes too. So I would love that internationally, for our cakes to be recognised in that way. So right about now, I'm here just trying to make it happen. I'm knocking on doors, trying to kick down doors at certain times, understanding that certain doors are going to be shut. And when doors are shut, it just means that it's not for you at that moment in time. It don't mean that you must stop. It just means that you may have to take another route to get where you need to go. So we're pushing and moving forward to continue to deliver great customer service, and more importantly, deliver great cake to people that want it. People want our cakes. They're happy with our cakes and they enjoy them. And we can continue to bring that happiness and enjoyment, we'll keep doing it.
And it's good that you're putting that effort in. I mean, for me, it's like I rather try and fail and not try.
That's what, I tell my children and grandchildren that all the time. It's better you fail trying than not trying at all. And that applies to me as well. So every time I get knocked down, I get back up, dust myself off,
What's the next
start
route?
again.
Let's go.
Yeah. And it depends on, the only one that can stop your dream is you. If you decide that you've had 10 doors shut, that shouldn't make no difference, because that 11th door, if you keep going, might be the one that's going to be open in itself. So it's just to continue to push forward for that end goal for then. So that would be one side of it, to get the cakes into stores. But I also want to give back. I don't want to be in a position where you're just turning a profit and you're not making a difference to your community or where you come from. So I would love to be able to have, a program that I can bring young adults, young children, teenagers in to learn aspects of business. Like, I didn't know anything coming into business as per se, didn't know much. And I've learned so much in the midst of, but, teach them customer services, teach them about baking in itself, timekeeping, the importance of working together, teamwork, team building, and also seeing representatives of themselves. It's so important to see me and you, because we live in such a diverse community. And sometimes you see people on television and in the media that don't always represent and look like us. And people, the young ones, think they can't achieve those things. You can achieve anything. And I sit here as a living example from, like I said, born and bred in the heart of Brixton, to coming out and creating something that people love. And I'm no different to anybody else. If I can do it, they can do it too. So for me, it's so important to give back. So I eventually want to have a program. The difference to them, I'm not 100% sure what it looks like, but I know masses won't just be masses from my small circle. It's got to be for everybody else, just to make a difference.
That's great. Yeah. No, I love that. The idea of giving back is just, it's why I work here.
Yeah, it's important. Well, it's really important to me, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you've said a lot. That is actually good advice. Even me, I'm soaking everything in. That's good. I need to write that down. I'll be writing everything down. But what other advice would you give to people who are just starting out? And
not to let go of your dream, just to hold on to it, even when times get rough. And it will get rough, because that's life. There's nothing that's plain sailing in life. You're going to have great days where things are going the way you want them to go. And you're going to have days where it's not so good. A lot of the time, I think in business, especially new businesses, it's so easy to want to just stop. It's easy to let go and say, you know what, this ain't for me, or this ain't the right time. But trying to get over that hurdle and to just keep pressing on. There's companies that had 20 businesses before they made it successful out there. I've just had the one business and I'm still putting one foot in front of the other. So when you're faced with challenges and adversities, press through them, because 9 times out of 10 there is something glorious on the other side, whether it be a learning curve for you, maybe a new business idea, maybe help in the form of somebody else for you to collaborate with, or just knowledge and skill that somebody say, you know what, don't do it that way, do it this way. That will make a difference, because sometimes when you're banging your head on a wall, you're trying to find a way out and you're on your own, it's very disheartening. So keep doing what you're doing and reach out. There's so much support. There's so much, like trampoline. This is a good one for people in the community to get involved, whether their business idea is at a thought stage or it's something that you're generating revenue, or somewhere that you're stuck. Because a lot of businesses get stuck because you reach a certain point and you're not quite sure what to do or which direction to go. There's always something for someone, and there's always someone available to give that advice. It's just to ask and to talk. And I think talking is good.
Speaking of which, I mean, let everyone know your Instagram in case anyone wants to
Oh
ask
my
you
gosh,
advice.
I'm so terrible with that. So it's just straightforward. It's at Massey's Cakes all the way. At Massey's Cakes on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're not the greatest on TikTok, but we are on TikTok. And I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. So I'm hoping, where are we at now? I think 700 and something.
Close,
So yeah, that's the aim for the next few months. See if we can do 1,000.
That's really good. And you don't just do rum cakes as well, you do other things.
Yeah, so we do original rum cake and we do banana cakes infused with rum. We also do a non-alcohol banana cake, and we do various size. So we do undress cakes, meaning no fondant, no icing or anything like that. They're just as you see them. And we do various sizing. So we do bite size, so we do muffins. Then we do a bite size, which comes in a pack of 6. We do loaves. We do a 10-inch, 12-inch round. And we cater for just about every event. As time has gone on from trading at markets and pop-ups, people can also order from us via our WhatsApp for events. So we have done wedding favours and larger events as well. So yeah.
Banana cake is my personal favourite, but I did not know you had one with rum. So I need to come visit you guys.
Yes, I have one infused. So the original banana cake came with rum. And how I ended up devising one without rum is that I was doing Camberwell market, and a little boy, probably about 7, came up to me and said, "Oh, has your cake's got rum in it?" I'm like, "You are not even old enough to be, can you smell alcohol?" And he was like, and I'm like, "Yes, they do have rum." And he said to me, "Oh, he loves banana cake, but he's epileptic and he can't have anything with any type of alcohol in it." And I thought, he was so saddened because his grandmother was buying the cake. And I thought, I'm going to bake a cake for this little boy. So I took his grandmother's details and I went home and I baked a cake and just left out the rum and hand delivered it to them. And that's how the non-alcohol banana cake came into effect. And we have sold hundreds and hundreds.
It's good that you're flexible. You're like, you saw a what's it called? A gap.
Yeah.
It's like, let's fill that gap. Let's put something else on the menu.
And we did. And that's how, so the alcohol, non-alcohol, gluten-free came about. We do a vegan rum cake, but I'm working on it because I'm not 100% happy with it. So
vegan is quite hard.
You see, I want that light texture that we have in all the cakes, but you're not always going to get that on a vegan cake. So I'm trying to push boundaries. I'm not quite sure how to work it out, but I'm going to get it.
And what are the next markets you're going to be at?
Oh, where are we? What's today's date? So, the Black Culture Market on the 31st of May. Then we are playing at the Reggae Vinyl Clash Vinyl. That's at the Lively Centre in Sydenham on the 1st of June. Then after that, the following week, Country Show, 7th and 8th of June, we will be at Lambeth Country Show, which is in Brockwell Park. Then we got a few more dates. We got Foster Memorial, I'm not quite sure. That's a 2-day fun fair event and in Bromley. So we got a few. And then I think the last will be Lewisham Shopping Centre. We're going to be at Lewisham Shopping Centre in August, I think the 30th of August. So quite a few.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming over today. I mean, I've had such a good time speaking to you. Anytime I speak to you, I'm like, I need to be more like you. Because the way you just find time to juggle things and
I'm not quite sure how I do it. I'm not quite sure how I do it. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother to 7. I don't know. And I work part-time. I still work my main job part-time and do cakes in between. So I'm feeling a little bit like Superwoman here. But thank you. Thank you for having this platform. Thank you for inviting me to speak. And I'm hoping that our conversation this afternoon makes a difference for somebody that's going to listen to it or watch it on YouTube to say, you know what, if Marcia can do it, then I can do it too.
Yeah, it's motivating me.
Yeah, oh, bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.